What? Your
William
dad?
Dad, he came from a big family. They were they up from Ireland. His brothers were all born in Canada. No, I'm trying to think if they were all born in Canada.
This is your dad you're talking about.
This is what?
Your dad you're talking about?
Yeah, or his dad, your grandpa.
Why are you looking at that with
And I was
such
looking
suspicion?
there.
Oh.
See,
What?
what are you doing?
Nothing.
Get away from here. You and your picture taking.
What's wrong with that? I can't remember all this stuff. I have to record it so I can pass it on. I have a bad memory for things like people, but you have a good memory for people.
Well, some of the stuff I don't know if it's imagination, thought up, or did it really happen?
Probably most of it happened,
happened.
And then some of it you filled in the blanks
That's
over the
right.
years, and then it becomes the story.
It became a story.
That's we all do that.
Yeah.
But it's probably close to what the truth was.
And my Uncle George was an alcoholic and a mean alcoholic. And
that was your mom's brother? Or your dad's
brother? He was married to my mother's sister.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't a blood relative. But apparently he started drinking just after they were married. He came from a good family and from a farm family. But then he started drinking right away, and he was the worst alcoholic. I was terrified of him. I was really, really afraid of him. And he owned a pool hall, and there were times when my aunt and I had to put him to bed and close up the pool hall because he couldn't do it.
How old were you?
I was, before I was 14. I had, you know what? They went away for a weekend and left me in charge of the pool hall. The pool hall! And he had a barber shop. He was a barber. He was a good barber when he was sober. This is my marriage, uncle by marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle George, his name was. But I didn't like him, and I was afraid of him when he was drinking. I was afraid of all people that were drinking.
Yeah, I know you didn't like drinking.
No.
I remember that when I was a kid.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
No.
You didn't want to go anywhere that served alcohol.
No. Because of this.
Because of that, I guess.
Yeah. And you know what? I could tell when my Uncle George had his first drink. I could tell immediately. And I was just a kid.
Mm-hmm. He'd change?
Yes. And everything. I could just tell immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated it. And I was afraid. I was very, very afraid all the time. Yeah, it wasn't a nice childhood.
So what happened to George?
He eventually died.
I gathered that.
And I wasn't there when he died, but he was in bed and he said, Lord, he said this in German, Lord, come for me soon. So, this old drunk and terrified people all his life, now he's going to go to heaven.
He hopes.
Well, they all thought that.
Yeah, I guess.
And that's where they think he is today.
Do you think he's there?
I have my doubts. Because he was...
Pretty bad guy?
He was so... Well, what he did to me alone was awful. A little girl like that having to be afraid of someone and being able to tell when they had their first drink. And then from then I was just terrified. And my aunt needed me to be with her because she was nervous too.
Yeah. Safety in numbers.
Yeah. And because I could run, if he was going to do anything, and he did. He was not a nice man, and He never really hit me too much, but he hit everybody else. He had one son who was, his name was Irvin, and this son did stick up for his rights and with his sisters, and I think once or twice he gave him a good whack in the head.
Taste of his own medicine.
Yeah, because he was so mean to my aunt, he terrified her too. He scared everybody. And you know, here am I a little girl, but they're all adults. Why didn't they beat him up? You know, I can never understand that. Why did they not do something to him to show him that he couldn't get away with being miserable and mean to everyone? I've never forgiven them for that. And you know Donovan?
Yep.
That was his grandfather.
Oh, really? Oh, well.
And Donovan,
He's a nice guy.
I know, that's what I was going to say. And his brother, Travis, was a minister.
Well, see, you never know how people are going to turn out.
Yeah, and his dad was head of the, what's the name of the company? Anyway, he made piles of money. They had lots of money, more money than they needed. And his dad was a fisherman. They used to call him fisherman because he loved to fish.
Oh.
Loved to fish. Oh, he loved to fish. And I don't think Donovan likes to fish. I don't think he probably has ever fished. He's a good swimmer though, and I know that he likes water. When was the last time you saw Donovan? You haven't seen him for a while.
He worked at the Space Science Center, did
Yeah.
he not? Yeah, it would have been in the 80s. Long time ago.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't worked there for years and years, of course. And I think he does a lot of freelance work. And he's very well known in the music center,
I imagine.
music world.
He stayed
Because
here.
he's a talented musician.
And he's been in music for so long. So,
And he came here to Edmonton to go to NAIT,
yeah.
and he was going to take music. And he just liked the course so much, he stayed, and then he worked at the
Space Science Center.
Space Center. He was there for many years. He was there until they got rid of that music department. Very talented family. I come from smart people, you know.
You said so. A couple times, I think.
Yeah. Well, my two uncles, school teachers, my aunt a nurse. I mean, in those days, how many people even got a decent education?
That's
Not
true.
many. They had to be special, or they had to have lots of money.
So how did your mom's sister end up with the guy who owned a pool hall?
Yeah, but you know what? I think he had up to grade 3 in school. He could hardly read and write,
So he was a
but
hustler.
he was a
hustler.
businessman.
Yeah.
And you know what? He went to barber school in Winnipeg, got his certificate, and opened a barber shop in front of the pool hall.
So he was a go-getter.
And you know what? Sometimes he was so drunk, and he's shaving a person who is lying down he's shaving with a straight razor. And we're all going,
Afraid
oh,
he's
is he going to cut his neck?
cut
Is he
his
going to
throat?
cut his head off? That's what we lived with.
Yeah, I guess.
And my aunt she was afraid of him too. I mean,
Yeah,
I
so-
can't see somebody being afraid of your husband like that. I just blame her for a lot. She was a weakling. They were all weaklings. And it's too bad that I was just a little girl and couldn't do anything.
Well, you survived it. You had your own family.
Yeah, I survived it, and that's why I'm so bossy and want things my way, and
Because
because that I grew up wanting to be that way.
not getting your own way.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, I knew that I would be this way.
You were gonna get your way. You were gonna have the
But
life
you
you
know
wanted.
what? The Gregs were a good family. They were a good family too.
How are they now?
Now, well, now they're all scattered and gone, and
Well, there's us.
some of
There's
them are
still
left.
Greg's.
Some of them are left, but not.
No, yeah. I mean, this generation. Well, it's not even my generation.
And you know, Corinne married a Montfort,
Hmm.
and he came from a he came from a funny family. Montfort. That was a good Scottish name, you know.
Was it?
And
Sounds regal.
his dad was an alcoholic and divorced his mother, and no, it wasn't easy for us.
Nope.
At all. No, Montfort was a good Scottish name. You know, and Greg was a good Irish name.
You were good Germans too, apparently.
Yeah, I never wanted to be.
Secret Germans, yeah.
Yeah, secret. That's about it. Yeah. No, but there was some nice things said about my mother's father because uh, he was a smart guy too. You know, he was a postmaster,
Hmm.
and in those days you had to be able to read and write well,
Yeah, bet.
and you had to know how to
Read a map.
run a post office, and he knew how to do all that. And he was a cute little man.
That was your mom's dad.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
mom's dad. Did you see it? There was a picture of him right here. Let's see,
How's your computer working?
it's working
It's okay?
For you know, no, this isn't where I have to go. I don't know where I go for this. I've got some smart cousins around too, you know.
That's good.
One of them is called Victor. This is my Uncle Johnny's oldest boy.
Victor Gunther?
This is him. Not Jakey, not Jackie Victor, but this is him.
Mm-hmm.
And this is him.
And that's who? That's your cousin.
Yeah, that's my cousin. Yeah.
And he's smart.
And there was an Alan. Okay, there's an Alan too. I wonder if he's still living. And his name was spelled different from the way we spelled Alan's name. No, he lived in Pakistan. No, this isn't him.
No, you never know. You said they were scattered. Okay, I'm gonna stop filming you now. I'll film you again in the future. Say bye.
Yeah, bye.
Say happy.
Here, this is him here.
Oh.
Here he is.
Alan R.
Our see, he was a passion as a student and a teacher of the scriptures. See that?
Ooh. Yes.
A lot of teachers. Okay, look at them all here. Well, these aren't. One of them's him, but I'm not sure which one is.
Well, there could be hundreds or thousands of pictures. That's just some of them.
But look at the things that they're saying about